Hi team, today I want to talk to you about how to take Plexus all the way. Yesterday I went with Kelly to an amazing training in Ardmore, Oklahoma with Sonya Dudley and Lori Harrison. There were probably 50 jewels there, which means emerald and up. Hundreds of people at this event, and it was amazing. I got to hear Sonya speak for over 4 hours, and I took a lot of notes along the way. So I'm going to share just a little bit of what I learned, my takeaways from this particular training, in hopes that you will be encouraged and supported on your journey to building a team and going all the way with Plexus. So get a little bit of tough skin, because some of the things that she said really will hit home with you. Remember, these are not my words, they are her words, but she has very, very valid points. So I'm going to share with you just some of those things that she shared with all of us. The first thing that she said that I immediately wrote down was, are you just wishing for a better life, or are you working for a better life? Because it is one thing to sit around and think, I wish I didn't have any debt. I wish I could buy more Christmas presents for my family. I wish I could just pay all my bills on the first of the month instead of having to spread it out. It's one thing to wish. It's another thing to draw your line in the sand, get a plan, have a vision, and work for it. So you can't just sit around and wish with Plexus and hope that you're going to the top. That will not work. Wishing is not going to work. You're going to get as much as you put in with Plexus. And once you start working the business, you will find that it is so doable and amazing things will happen. Once again, I'm here telling you the same thing I say every single time I do a video. You have to be persistent. You have to be consistent. If you are working this business once a month, your business is not going to go anywhere. If you are working this business once a week, you're going to make very small gains. If you're working this business a couple of weeks a month, again, your gains will be relative to the amount of time that you put in. If you are working your business every day, you're going to see amazing things happen. And the only reason that I can tell you that and mean it emphatically is because it's occurred in my life. I really work my business every single day. There are some people that think I'm just lucky. I wish that were the case, because it would mean that I could just sit back and not do anything and just watch this thing evolve. But that is not at all what's been happening. You may not see me working. You may not know that I'm working, but I work this business about 4 hours every single day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to do that. That is what I'm doing because I have a very strong vision and I have a plan that requires me to do that, to put that time in if I want to go somewhere and do what I'm planning to do. So I am very driven by my why, and I'm not going to stop until I get there. So you have to make that decision yourself on what you're willing to do to make your dreams come true. Okay, that's the very first takeaway I got. This one's kind of hard to talk about. It's not hard for me to talk about because I completely agree with what Sonya Dudley said yesterday, but not everyone's going to agree with me. So just hang out and listen to me. This is what she said. She said, it is okay to be off balance for a short period of time to invest in something. Okay? What she was talking about, and she used it as an example, she said, there are going to be times when you are going to have to make choices for your business. You might have to miss one of your child's sports events to go to a meeting. Okay? You might have to miss a PTA function so that you can meet with a potential customer or a potential ambassador. If you are unwilling to make sacrifices, then you have to realize that your timeline for your goals, your dreams, your vision will change. I'm not saying your final goal is going to change. Your goal may be to be Emerald and to drive a Plexus Lexus and go to Maui, okay? That can be your goal forever. But it may take you 5 years to get there if you're unwilling to make sacrifices along the way. If you're willing to have a little off balance, which means that you're not 100% doing everything, okay, then your business will grow faster. So it's up to you what you do. What I'm going to tell you is I have made those sacrifices already, and that is the reason why my team has grown so quickly. It is the reason why my business has grown so quickly and so effectively, because I have consistently made sacrifices that include my family in order to grow my business. Because here's what I want you to understand. People are like, well, family's first. I 100% agree with you. But sometimes that doesn't look the same as you think it does. My family is 100% my priority. But being home with my girls and watching them grow up instead of continuing to teach full time is going to require some sacrifices along the way so that I can get to that place. And if I have to not make any sacrifices and teach for 3 more years, that is 3 more years that I have sacrificed time with my children. And I would rather sacrifice a game here, an activity here along the way, and get there faster. So I encourage you to make some hard choices to grow your business. If you continue to make excuses and say, I'm not willing to do that, then I want you to understand that your business is not going to grow at the same speed as someone that does make those sacrifices. I'm not going to judge you along the way. No one's going to judge you along the way. I just want to make that clear. So when you watch people that are driving quickly in this business, okay, and I mean driving a Lexus quickly, those are people that have made consistent sacrifices along the way. But they are richly rewarded with time, freedom and time after they've made those sacrifices. To me, it is worth it. Okay? One thing that Sonya said is, you will pay now and play later, or you will play now and pay later. I don't think that needs any more explanation. That's pretty clear. It's true, though. It's true. She said to stop making excuses on attending events. I want to be really clear about this. There are going to be times in your life when you are not going to be able to make it to an event. Okay, I had a time like that in the fall. I really wanted to be at Lori Harrison's event. I really wanted to drive all the way to Norman and be there. 2 hours driving one way, so a 4-hour round trip for what I would have gotten from that training would have been so worth it. I drove 4 hours one way to Ardmore this weekend and 4 hours home, and it was 100% worth my time and effort, and I got so much from it. But that particular event that I couldn't go to with Lori Harrison, there was something that was more important at that time. I don't remember what it was, but it was something, okay? I had an ambassador this weekend who had tickets to OU, okay? Is she going to give up tickets to an OU game with her family to come to Ardmore? I wouldn't expect her to do that. That's a once-in-a-lifetime event. But if your child plays soccer and they play soccer every single week, missing one of their games to attend a once-in-a-lifetime or once-in-a-year event like was in Ardmore is worth it, okay? If you have a cheerleading competition for your child and they're going to have 14 competitions. If you miss one competition because you are doing something for your business that's going to actually benefit your family, that might be worth it. I can't tell you whether it is or not because I'm not you, but what I'm telling you is you're not going to make every single event, but if you find yourself making an excuse every single time there's an event, it will affect your business and it won't be in a positive way. If there's a meeting locally, you need to get there, and you don't need to get there by yourself. You need to bring people with you. I'm going to be very clear about this. I did not go to convention last year. I had been an ambassador for 2 months, and I did not go to convention because it was the last 2 days of the school year. I regret that decision. I don't regret being there for my kindergarten students on the last 2 days of school. I didn't want to miss that. I didn't feel like I could miss it. I didn't feel like it was the right choice to miss it. But looking back on that, that was the wrong choice. I should have made that hard sacrifice and gone to Dallas for the convention and gotten over not being there the last 2 days because Lexus is my future. It's my future. There is no way in the world that I would miss convention this year. There is nothing that's going to keep me from it. Nothing, okay? Aside from death, I'm not going to miss it. I have already paid for my convention ticket. I've already paid for my hotel room. And as soon as plane tickets become available, I'm booking my plane tickets. Okay. School could still be in session because we have snow all the time. Last year we had all these snow days. Okay. I'm going to tell you emphatically, I'll be there anyway, and I'll miss the last 2 or 3 days of school because I'm flying out to convention on June the 3rd. And nothing's going to keep me from that. This is my business. This is my future, and it's what I need to do. It is a priority to me. I've heard this said so many times, and I'm going to say it again. Leaders are born at events. If you want to be a leader in this business, you need to get yourself to events. It's going to require sacrifice. Sacrifice time, sacrifice money. It's going to take sacrifice. Ultimately, it will be a reward for you. Please get yourself to convention if there's any way possible that you can. Sonya said, be willing to change your timeline if you're unwilling to give the time now. She said, don't give up on the dream, but change the timeline. So if you don't have the time to work the business now, you might be in grad school, you might have a family of 11, you might have an ailing parent. There's a lot of reasons that you may not have the time. It's okay. But you have to understand that somebody who's working this business every single day without fail is going to get to the goal faster than you are. And you have to be okay with that. You have to know that it's okay. Sonya said, how many hours are you working your business? You should be punching in and out. I agree with what she's saying to a certain degree, but for me, I can't punch a time clock because I am working a full-time job, a full-time teaching job, which let me tell you is more than just 40 hours a week most times. It's a lot more hours because there's a lot of things that you have to do before school and after school when you're a kindergarten teacher. There's also this full-time job, and then I'm a mom and a wife and a friend and a daughter. I'm a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats in my life. I can't punch a time clock. I work plexus at every free moment I have. When I am teaching, I am not doing plexus. I don't feel like that's an ethical thing to do. Okay? I do work plexus before school. I work plexus at my lunch hour. I work plexus after school. I work plexus in the evening. I work plexus all weekend. I'm working plexus right now. It's a Sunday afternoon. I encourage you to make sure that you're working consistently, but you don't have to punch a time clock to make this thing work. But if you're only working at an hour a week, you're going to get the results from your hour a week. If you're working at 20 hours a week, you're going to see the results from 20 hours a week. Okay? Do not be a victim. Sonya Dudley said that. Do not play the victim role. Do not say, oh, it's so hard. I don't have any friends. People keep telling me not to talk about plexus. My dad is too old to take plexus. My best friend is getting annoyed because I keep telling her about plexus. Those are all excuses. Don't play the victim. Well, I don't know how to research on the files. Okay? If you don't know how to do something, you can Google it and it'll tell you how to do it. I mean, Google is an amazing tool. Okay? Honestly, if you have a will, there is a way. Be your own business builder. Seek to find information. When I started Plexus, I didn't know anything about the business at all. Okay? I didn't know what a back order was. I didn't know that I didn't get a 60-day money-back guarantee. I didn't know anything. Okay? The way I found out was not from anybody telling me. It was from researching myself. It was figuring out how to read the files. It was researching in my back office. It was Googling. It was watching YouTube videos with Sonya Dudley and Sarah Marble. It was work, and I did it all by myself. If I did all that by myself, you can do it too. And guess what? You don't have to do it all by yourself because you have me and the rest of our whole team that's going to encourage you. If you need help, please ask for it. I am not a mind reader. I wish I was a mind reader. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know when you're struggling. I don't know when you're frustrated. I don't know when you feel defeated. But I want to encourage you and I want to help you. But you also have to take the reins of this business and ride them like a horse. You've got to move yourself forward. Because I am trying to build my business too. Nobody's helping me build my business. I'm all on my own over here. I'm telling you that you have help, but you also need to find a powerful will to get there, okay? Don't compare your journey to anybody. Don't compare it to me. Don't compare it to your neighbor. Don't compare it to the person that's a diamond ambassador. Don't compare it to Susie and Chris McCall. Susie McCall went emerald in 6 months. I've been in Plexus for 8 months, and I'm only senior gold. Should I just give up now? I'm done. I didn't earn my Lexus. No. My journey's different. I'm working a full-time job while I'm doing this. My timeline looks different than Susie McCall. Did she work harder than me? She probably did because she had more hours to give to it, if we're honest about it. You will get you will get out of this what you put into it. I can assure you of that. Don't give up. The investment in being a Plexus ambassador is minute in comparison to every other company and into so many things that you do in your life. $34.95 is all you paid to sign up. It's not a huge risk, but it doesn't mean it's not a huge opportunity. It is a huge opportunity. I've been paid that amount over and over and over back so many times since I joined this business, and you can too, okay? It's a small investment for the opportunity. This is the question I want to ask you, and I want you to think about it really hard. If you had more time, so if I wasn't teaching full-time, perfect example, what would I do with that time for my Plexus business? I want you to think about that. I want you to take some notes on that and write it down. And then I want you to look, this is not a Sonya Dudley, this is a Christine Weir. I want you to look at your day, and I want you to think about the things that you're doing that are nebulous, that are not necessary, that are just part of your routine because it's what you've always done. Okay? And I want you to see if you can carve out 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and use that time wisely to build your business. I've had to cut some things out of my life. I used to create new stuff for school all the time, okay? Why am I doing that when what I already have is effective? I'm not doing that anymore. I've carved out hours out of my week that I used to spend on that, okay? I encourage you to look at your schedule and then think about what you could do in order to carve out some time, and then what are you going to productively do with that time? I want to talk to you about posting on Facebook. Make it personal. Tell a story. Sonya said this was so true. People want your heart. They want to see your heart. Make it a journal. Not just about Plexus either. Share from your heart about your life, about your children, about your family, about things that interest you, and share about Plexus the same way. You will have a captive audience. Your Plexus business will grow when you're transparent with people. Get vulnerable. Open up, share things that you're not comfortable with. Because if you're not doing that, if you're closed off and you're just showing a picture of somebody else all the time, and you're talking and you're putting an ad on there and you're talking about Plexus is great, okay, that's not very motivating. Do you think it's easy for me to post a picture of myself with a big old fat roll hanging out of my front of my shirt? No, that's not easy to do. It's humiliating. But I'm helping people by doing that. I'm helping them. They can see the difference and how Plexus has helped me. When I share things about like my cravings or about how I used to think about food all the time, that's not an easy thing to say to people, but it's what motivates people to change their life. Get vulnerable. That's what sells products. That's what's going to help somebody change their life with these products. I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I have a little bit more I want to talk about, but I'm going to do it in a separate video because this is getting really long. So I will do a separate video on 3 questions to ask yourself. I want to thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I want to encourage you. Plexus is incredible. The opportunity is unmatched. And if you want to go all the way, you have the ability to do it, and you have the support in this team to do it. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you feel motivated to go out and build your business.